A patient in a hospital tells the doctor that she feels better that day, feeling much more energetic. The doctor examines her mental health, anxiety, and schizophrenia, noting progress. The patients are allowed to return home, where her son and husband are waiting for her. At night, they watch TV together, and when the husband falls asleep, the woman goes to the second floor and restarts her life. The grown-up son of the late Alex, now a student, is fascinated by psychology and mystical sciences at the university. One day, the professor tells Alex about the abundance of dimensions. He emphasizes that only people are able to comprehend these incomprehensible facets of existence. Only he, not an animal, is able to perceive the world around him, including the passage of time. Therefore, he is always drawn to another reality through drugs or esoteric rituals. Perhaps, having upgraded the mind, the individual will see the other world. Alex's comrades do not believe the news, but he is curious and interested. The instructor says, there's a concept called out-of-body experience. She is sure that the spirit can leave the body and travel to other worlds. The skeptic advises studying science, but admits psychics communicating with the otherworldly are possible. In conclusion, the professor suggests researching this hypothesis for a future dissertation. Following him, his friends gossip about the news. Ben learned that those leaving the body felt like returning pilots. Severely exhaust the body. He assures, trust online idols and you will open any universes. He definitely doesn't intend to get involved in such nonsense. Alex is really intrigued by the question and captivated. Then he goes to the book depository with ancient tomes. Neophytes accidentally summon evil entities using their skills. Alice, in love, becomes close to the guy, but he rejects her feelings, claiming that it is just curiosity, and avoids an evening together. At night, following the advice from the books, he falls asleep, eager to make an out-of-body journey. However, he is a complete failure. In the morning, he shares with his friends. Attempts at astral projection are nonsense. It turns out, I'm giving up this business. The comrades joke, and the alarmed Alice begs Alex not to meddle in this place. Intrigued by the astral plane, the hero is sent to the discoverer of this topic, the professor, hoping for his help. The young man comes to the teacher, admitting his thirst for personal experience, but at a loss from not knowing the starting point. The character is not aware of the goal, because he thinks that this is not fun. However, he said that he was once also interested in a similar issue. Numerous treatises say that astral projection is the exit of the spirit from the body into other dimensions. Alex admits that his goal is to communicate with ghosts and uncover the secrets of the past, which arouses his curiosity. The teacher recommends the work of Michelle Koretz, who suffered because of her research. The university rejected the researcher's scientific research. Perhaps the professor's own confession will shed light on his role, but success is not guaranteed. After the conversation, Alex goes to his friends who don't believe in his research. They think he is too obsessed with esotericism. He was invited to a party, but he declined the invitation, upsetting Alice. The call is interrupted. The young man leaves, accepting the incoming call. Trying to persuade a guy to go to a party, a girl overhears his nervous conversation with his parent. Alex reproaches his father for hiding the truth about his mother's death and avoiding talking about her. Alex is hurt by his father's secrecy. He remembers his first conversation with his dad about her death and his frustration at hiding the truth. Now, disappointed in his parent, the hero avoids talking about it, having lost faith. Alone at night, Alex explores the astral plane, conducting initial experiments on leaving the body. Soon, a worried Alice tries to contact him, but Alex is unavailable for response. Suddenly, the hero remembers his mother's things from his father and discovers a cross there. Later, following the teacher's instructions, he relaxes on his back, focusing on breathing. The main goal is to fool the mind into the illusion of falling asleep. At that moment, muscle stiffness will set in, a phase between reality and sleep, when it is possible to leave the flesh, repeating soothing phrases. He has an omnipotent connection and the gift of teleportation to any point in space. Alex commits atrocities. Incomprehensible noises torment his ears. The world blurs, losing its outline. In the morning, her phone call will ring. The young man rushes to his comrades, rejoicing over his successful astral journey. They make fun of him and demand a video recording of what is happening, otherwise no one will believe him. However, the heroine objects, the spirit is not tangible, so photography is unrealistic. A debate breaks out among the young men, and Ben advises Alex to test the hypothesis. Spiritual strength is the key to energy. The pendulum will be the solution. In the astral world, Alex touches the body. Movement means the influence of the soul. The comrades will record this on camera. The corporation gets involved. Alex makes the device following online instructions. Jordan turns on the camera, encouraging his comrade. Meanwhile, Alice shares her heartfelt feelings with a friend who wonders why she is hiding her attraction to Alex. Alice explains, knowing about the young man's difficulties with his parents, why she does not want to aggravate him with her problems. Apparently, this is why he is so passionate about the theme of the otherworldly. Tonight, Alex resumes the experiment. Suddenly, the light flickers and the pendulum begins to swing. The young man is tossing about in bed, agitated, as if something is tormenting him. The next day, after watching a video with Jordan, he sees the pendulum swinging, but his friend writes it off as wind. Others ridicule this confirmation, forgetting that they themselves recently offered it. Alex tells how he observed his own mortal body. Suddenly, Jordan sees the yoke moving again, although Alex is undoubtedly dozing. The young man assures that the window was locked. Since the same night, he again tries to project himself into another dimension. The cycle resumes. Time swings. The camera glides over the fur. Alex is awakened by vague anxiety, but he does not realize the cause of his fear. In the morning, he looks at the night's recording and shows his comrades the eerie silhouette captured by the camera. So, we have to agree, this is true reality. But whose figure is this? Did he really capture his own reflection from the other world? Alex Googles posts about shadow people, realizing that he is not the only one who sees them. All those striving for the astral world sooner or later encountered similar visions. Experts have recommended stopping these risky activities due to their dangers. That same evening, Alex's friend and neighbor, Jordan, notices an inexplicable phenomenon in the room, mistaking it for an electrical failure. Soon Ben also stumbles upon an unusual incident. He was thoroughly shaken, as if he had lost his support. Jordan suddenly thinks of the evening ghost in the hall, which disappeared along with the light. Ben chuckles, but Jordan is dead serious. Alex then sends a message to a doctor who posts online about abnormal events. In the middle of the night, Alex heard talking in the kitchen and concluded that his companions were awake. However, the room was empty. At dawn, the hero goes to a psychologist, where his sensitive doctor listens. The young man passionately describes his adventures, and the doctor suddenly reports that he once treated his mother. Marked villain, a familiar amulet. It tells of a meeting with a patient suffering from acute insanity. Alex immediately accused the doctor of prematurely discharging the patient, which led to negative consequences. However, he insists that her condition was not bad, despite complaints of hallucinations. Alex is furious, but the doctor is confident that he understands the situation better and will provide assistance. However, the young man disappears. Soon he is haunted by visions and horrors that are noticeable to those around him. Vague voices are all around. A wonderful fragrance tickles your nose. Late in the evening, he senses someone else's presence, but a worried Alice appears, worried about his well-being. A deaf girl confesses her feelings to Alex, not perceiving the sound phenomena he describes. However, the young man insists that he is temporarily insane. He values comradeship, but fears separation from her. Alice urges him to create something fresh, and he gives in. Waking up in the middle of the night, the young man feels an eerie presence behind him, after which the girl is dragged under the bed by an unknown force. Having woken up, Alice is confused, and Alex reports that something inexplicable has appeared in his home. Having visited the doctor again, the young man asks for forgiveness for his rudeness. Making excuses, his father only recently revealed the truth to him. Soon he must admit, things are getting more and more complicated. The hero sees eerie images, and last night he was visited by a phantom with a ram's head. The doctor admits his powerlessness and suddenly recommends contacting an expert in this matter. So, humanity has long known about the phenomenon of shadow people, and exiting to the astral plane is opening a passage for the invasion of evil entities from another world. Alex tells Alice about this, and suddenly notices Michelle Collins' book in her possession, remembering the professor's story. They trace the psychic's online footprint and discover her current income, predictions, and spiritualism. Having visited her office, Alex obeys, and the lady indulges in predictions. The young man was dealt a card of hope for change, but the next one predicted these changes to be extremely painful. The third card plunges the soothsayer into confusion, because it means that Alex came not alone, but with something else. The young man is curious about her work, but Michelle stops the questions, believing the creation of a novel to be a major oversight. The girl tells the teenagers to leave, but as soon as they got up, there was a blow to the wall. Michelle begs them to sit down, insisting that Alex is possessed by evil spirits trying to break out into the world. Now they need to get them back. One of them is powerful and extremely dangerous. To fight evil spirits, you need to find out their true name, which only Alex can do. Michelle insists on immediately repeating the astral projection, but the young man, fearing the consequences, rejects this idea. The heroine explains, once in the villain's kingdom, Alex will become his strong opponent and will be able to find out his secret name. The young man agrees. The trio join hands. Michelle lights the magic candles, tells him to look into the fire, and says prayers. Suddenly, everything starts to move. The table shakes, the lamps sway. Michelle screams, commanding the demon to reveal its name. The evil creature is furious, wanting to seize control of Alex. Voices from beyond the grave speak to people. Michelle responds in a foreign dialect. Suddenly, the lady's appearance is distorted, but she begs him not to worry. This is just the machinations of the devil. And suddenly Alex rushes at the girl and begins to choke her. However, Michelle prays loudly, calling for the return of his spirit. At a critical moment, he moves back in, but realizes that the invasion of another space had consequences. Alex subsequently introduces Alice to his parent. Suddenly, in a conversation, a memory pops up. On the evening of his mother's death, the boy drew an eerie drawing, a dark ghost seen by both of them.